lovely viewers. Welcome back to Ghana Tube. It's your girl Tracy with today's segment. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Press the notification button to get more trending updates from us. I am Addo. Akufo-Addo didn't tackle economic crisis with urgency. Prophet Booking. An economist, Prophet Godfred Booking, is casting doubts on the ability of the government to restore government's economy to the second footing through the implementation of the IMF program. The professor believes strongly that the IMF deal is not going to help Ghanaians and the president is just lying to us. There was an administration by President Akufo-Addo that bailouts did not mean an emergency end to current difficulties. He believes strongly that the bailouts from the IMF doesn't do anything to us. It's not going to really help Ghanaians. This is not the best options for Ghanaians. In a national address on Sunday, the president said the approval rather presents a positive step towards putting the country back on track. President Akufo-Addo boldly came out to tell us on Sunday that the IMF bailout is a step for us to go through with the crisis. It's going to help Ghana bounce back. But the professor also believes strongly that what Akufo-Addo is saying is just lying to us. He's just being shallow to us because he feels Ghanaians are not doing the best. And we want the country to develop. So anything the president says, we go in for it. Access to the IMF facility will not expel the immediate end of the difficulties we are presently in, but the fact that we have been able to negotiate such a deal sends a positive message to our trading partners, creditors, and investments. The professor believes strongly that though we have signed an IMF deal, it's good because our creditors, our investors are also going to get on board. It's going to help us, but Ghana as a whole is not going to really help us. It's not going to help us in our difficulties because we are suffering and the country is in crisis. He said, the professor said, and I quote, a positive message that would be underpinned by discipline, hard work, and enterprise with which we execute the program. It should lead to the restoration of confidence and reopening of avenues that have been closed to us in the past years and a half. It should also lead to the good deeds of many infrastructure projects that have been started. President Akufo-Addo has also come out to say that with this bold step or the bailout for the IMF, it's going to help Ghana because we are going to continue the things we stopped, like some of the infrastructure works they were doing or some of the projects that they brought on board that stopped. They are going to the IMF bailout is going to help Ghana bounce back again because those projects will bounce back and businesses will flourish. Things will be going smoothly for Ghanaians. But the Professor Bonkin is not optimistic when it comes to the government's capacity to put the Ghana economy back on track. Joe Akufo-Addo is saying strongly that the IMF project is going to help us, but the prophet also believes strongly that this is not going to help Ghanaians as a whole because he feels the government is not doing so good or is not doing so well when it comes to the economic crisis, and it's not going to help Ghanaians because we are borrowing a lot, which is making us have lots of debt. Other countries are coming to us. We keep loaning. Even China, we owe China, and now China is coming to take over, which is not going to help us. He urges that unlike the COVID-19 pandemic, which brought together experts from across the country, the current economic crisis is being handled by only government and its officials. Hence, a high probability that it will come to the Akufo-Addo leading administration failure. The professor believes strongly that during the COVID times, things were not so good for us. It wasn't only Ghana that suffered during the pandemic. But this time, he's not even sure if the Akufo-Addo government is going to bounce back because he believes strongly that they are not helping. What have they done for Ghanaians? They keep borrowing, just borrowing and borrowing. What at all do they want from us? And the president is so bold enough. He keeps telling us everything is going to be alright. Business have collapsed. People are still unemployed. So what is the government actually telling us? What is Akufo-Addo really telling us? Keep bringing in your comments, like and share. If you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe. Turn the notification button and get more trending updates from us. Do you think the economic crisis is going to end because of the IMF bailout? What are your takes on this? When it came to COVID, you will see that the team of experts government mobilized cut across the border society, and therefore the issue of politics and the rest of them probably became a bit mute. You had the best of Ghanaian scientists from you have Ghana you had the best of Ghanaian scientists. You can't get it better than that. The professor also believes strongly that though COVID also hit us so strongly, Ghana had major scientists, but at the end of the day, what else? It's not only Ghana that suffered, or it's not only Ghana that went through this COVID-19. All over the nation was facing COVID. But Ghana's economic crisis has nothing to do with COVID. So why is the president always bailing or putting things against COVID that his government is not performing well because of COVID? What at all has COVID done? We were already suffering before COVID came into the picture. COVID has nothing to do with how IMF is giving us loans or why we keep borrowing from IMF. So why is the president believing strongly that it's because of COVID? That is why his government is not doing so good for Ghanaians, and Ghanaians are complaining. Touching on the speech by the president, Professor Pokin said he did not hear what I did not hear what I want to hear. I didn't get the impression that there was some level of remorse. The professor believes strongly that though the president came out to address plenty things concerning the IMF and what the things we are facing through in Ghana, he didn't really hear what he wanted to hear from the president. Here he feels the president is not remorseful. Why is he saying this? Do you think the president is not remorseful? Do you think that IMF is the best option for Ghana? What are your take? Keep bringing in your comments, like and share. I didn't get the impression that there was a sense of urgency that Ghana needed to tackle its economic crisis in the same way that approached COVID. That didn't come out clearly, and you could see that in the case of economy, it showed why governments respond so late in the case of COVID. It also shows why if you rely on experts regardless of political afflictions, you are likely to make better and informed judgments. So the professor believes strongly that the way he wanted to see the president tackle the economic crisis, that was not how he's doing. But when COVID came, he's all over, every day talking, every day giving speeches. But the economic crisis, which is the most important thing here, he's not doing so well with it. But rather, he's just talking about IMF, using COVID as an excuse. Why is he saying this? Why is the president doing this? He feels the president is not being truthful enough because he has been in power for some time now. What have they done for Ghanaians? Rather, Ghanaians are suffering. Unemployment has become huge. Yes, so Akufo-Addo says we should vote for them. What at all are they doing for Ghanaians? Do you think the Akufo-Addo government is doing so good for us? Bring your comments, like and share. And again, if you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe. Turn the notification button to get more trending updates from us. The funds will be used for balance of payments for budget support, as well as to stabilize the foreign exchange rate and control inflation. Another tranche of funds is expected to be distributed by June 2023, when IMF mission would visit Ghana to review the country's program. The professor believes strongly that IMF is IMF is doing their best, but yet still the funds they are giving us, the government is not able to account for it well, because we are not seeing much improvements in Ghana. Most people want to leave the country. Why? Because they feel Ghana is not doing so good. When you go to other countries, though they are suffering, it's not compared as to the way Ghanaians are suffering when it comes to the Akufo-Addo government. So the professor is ensuring Ghanaians that they should think, they should use their brains. He's against the Akufo-Addo government. What are your take? Do you think the Akufo-Addo government is doing so good? Do you think they are going to win? The professor is also questioning the Akufo-Addo government. Do they think they are going to win the elections because of this shallow thing they are doing to us? The professor has come out to say that Ghanaians have matured, or Ghanaians know whatever is happening, whether they are for MPP or not. They know that what they are going through, so they are not going to fall in for what they are doing. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has come out boldly to say that we shouldn't pay much attention to what Professor Pokin is saying, because he's also having his opinion, but rather we should look at him, the president, what he's doing, the fight he's going through, or whatever he's doing to keep us going. He's doing his best to ensure that Ghana bounce back. So IMF is the best option. So we shouldn't give up on the MPP party or the MPP government because they are doing their best. Do you think the MPP party is doing their best? Keep bringing in your comments, like and share. It's your girl Tracy. I'm out.